1976 was music's Wild West. Disco, rock, and pure insanity collided to create some of the most memorable one-hit wonders ever recorded. These aren't just songs you remember, they're the bizarre stories behind them. Phil Lynott wrote "The Boys Are Back in Town" after watching his old gang reunite at a local pub in the summer of 1976. This song became Thin Lizzy's only major American hit, despite the band's decade-long career and Lynott's reputation as one of rock's most charismatic frontmen. Lynott died tragically young at 36 from drug-related complications in 1986, but guitarist Scott Gorham still tours with various Thin Lizzy lineups today, keeping the music alive for new generations. Here's what radio stations didn't tell you, though. Lynott was one of Ireland's first major black rock stars, born to a Brazilian father and an Irish mother at a time when mixed-race musicians faced serious prejudice in both Ireland and Britain. The song's celebration of working-class masculinity became deeply ironic, considering Lynott's struggles with heroin addiction, which ultimately destroyed both his health and the band's chemistry. Even more controversial, several band members later revealed that Lynott often faced racist abuse from audiences who couldn't reconcile his appearance with his Irish identity, leading to backstage confrontations that rarely made the music press. Andrea True was already established in adult films when producer Greg Diamond convinced her to record More during a break between shoots in New York, thus forming the Andrea True connection. The sultry delivery that made the song irresistible came from her experience performing for cameras, creating an unexpected crossover hit that reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. True's background gave her a natural understanding of how to project sensuality through audio alone, something that traditional singers often struggled to achieve. True attempted several musical comebacks throughout the late 1970s, but never matched this success, eventually retiring from both industries due to health issues and the changing landscape of both disco and adult entertainment. The controversy runs deeper than her adult film background. True allegedly used her music earnings to fund drug operations in the Caribbean, leading to multiple arrests and effectively ending her recording career. The FBI reportedly investigated her connections to international drug trafficking, making her one of the few one-hit wonders with an actual FBI file. If you're enjoying these untold stories, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more music history they don't want you to know. And share this with someone who lived through 1976. Vicki Sue Robinson was a Broadway veteran who'd appeared in Broadway productions like Hair and Jesus Christ Superstar when she recorded Turn the Beat Around. This disco masterpiece at Philadelphia's legendary Sigma Sound Studios. The song's infectious energy came from Robinson's theater training and the Philly International Sound Machine. Despite the song reaching number 10 and becoming a disco standard, Robinson never achieved another major hit, though she continued building a devoted following through live performances. Robinson maintained her career performing in dinner theaters and small venues until her death from cancer in 2000. The song's legacy took an unexpected turn when it became the unofficial soundtrack for New York's underground gay club scene, with Robinson becoming an unwitting icon in communities she never openly acknowledged during her lifetime. Some music historians argue that Robinson's reluctance to embrace her gay fan base cost her further commercial success in an era when disco artists desperately needed that community's support to survive. Henry Gross wrote this tearjerker about Beach Boy Carl Wilson's Irish Setter after the dog was tragically hit by a car, reaching number 6 on the charts. The former Sha Na Na member crafted the song's emotional punch by drawing on his own experiences with pet loss. The success couldn't be repeated despite multiple attempts at similar heartstring-pulling material, including several follow-up songs about pets and family relationships. Gross continued recording and touring on a smaller scale throughout the decades, eventually becoming a guitar instructor in New York. But the real story behind Shannon involves a bitter legal battle with his record label over royalties that lasted decades and consumed much of his earnings from the hit. Gross claimed that Lifesong Records deliberately sabotaged his follow-up releases to avoid paying higher percentages, leading to a lawsuit that revealed how one-hit wonders were systematically exploited by record companies who profited from their inability to repeat success. Memphis radio DJ Rick Dees recorded this novelty track as a joke for his morning show, using a Donald Duck voice over a basic disco beat that became an accidental #1 hit. The song's success launched Dees' international radio syndication and eventually television hosting, proving that sometimes the most ridiculous ideas produce the biggest results. Dees built a media empire from this foundation, hosting American Top 40 and various TV shows well into the 2000s. The dark side of Disco Duck involves Disney's immediate legal threats over the unauthorized use of their character's voice, forcing Dees to alter future performances and recordings. More troubling were the reports of radio payola surrounding the song's promotion. Dees allegedly used his industry connections to artificially inflate airplay numbers, raising questions about how many other grassroots hits were actually manufactured by insider manipulation. Classically trained pianist Walter Murphy formed Walter Murphy and the Big Apple Band, writing a fifth of Beethoven during Beethoven's Fifth Symphony into a disco extravaganza at the urging of private stock records executives. The song became a #1 hit and earned Murphy a Grammy nomination, but his attempts to repeat the formula with other classical pieces failed commercially. Murphy later found success as a composer for Family Guy and other animated series, finally achieving sustainable career longevity. Murphy's biggest controversy came when classical music purists accused him of destroying Beethoven's legacy for commercial gain. Death threats from classical music extremists forced Murphy to hire security for live performances, revealing an ugly side of musical elitism that most people never knew existed. Hey friends, you ready for more shocking revelations? Make sure you're subscribed and ring that notification bell. These stories get wilder as we go deeper into 1976's musical madness. White rockers from Ohio, Wild Cherries, play that funky music. Transformed themselves into a funk band after a black audience member shouted, "Play some funky music, white boy," during a Pittsburgh club performance. Lead singer Rob Parisi took the challenge seriously, crafting a song that became their only major hit, but defined the era's racial musical boundaries. The band disbanded in 1979 after failing to recreate their success, with Parisi eventually working in music production and real estate. The song's racial dynamics created unexpected tension within the music industry. Some black musicians accused Wild Cherry of appropriating funk culture for white profit, while others praised them for bridging racial divides. Behind the scenes, the band reportedly faced pressure from both white rock stations who thought they'd gone black and black radio programmers who questioned their authenticity, leaving them caught between worlds that neither fully accepted them. This smooth soul ballad emerged from the Manhattans' decade-long career struggle, finally giving the group their only #1 hit, "Kiss and Say Goodbye," after years of moderate R&B success.
Let's just kiss and say goodbye.
Lead singer Gerald Alston's emotional delivery captured the pain of extramarital relationships, resonating with audiences who recognized the real-life complexity behind the lyrics. The group continued recording through the 1980s with diminishing returns, though Alston maintained the Manhattans' name for touring purposes into the 2000s. The song's success created internal warfare within the group over songwriting credits and royalty splits that destroyed lifelong friendships. Original member Winfred Lovett sued his bandmates multiple times over financial disputes, claiming he was cheated out of his share of the song's profits while struggling with personal bankruptcy. A common fate among one-hit wonder group members who discovered that success without proper legal representation often meant financial ruin. British soul singer Maxine Nightingale recorded Right Back Where We Started From, an upbeat track in London before it was remixed for American audiences, creating an international hit that reached number 2 in the U.S. The song's infectious positivity masked Nightingale's personal struggles with the music industry's expectation for black female artists, and despite several attempts at follow-up hits, she never matched this success. Nightingale continued performing in the UK and occasionally toured nostalgic review shows in America. Nightingale's career was allegedly sabotaged by her own record label, who reportedly refused to properly promote her follow-up singles because they wanted to focus resources on what they considered more marketable white artists. Industry insiders later revealed that several major labels in the 1970s had unofficial quotas limiting the number of black artists they would simultaneously promote, effectively ensuring that successful performers like Nightingale would remain one-hit wonders, regardless of their talent. Dorothy Moore's Misty Blue was a sultry interpretation of this country ballad transformed into an R&B masterpiece that showcased her powerful vocals and emotional depth. The Alabama native had been performing professionally since the 1960s, but Misty Blue became her defining moment, reaching number 3 and earning her Grammy recognition. Moore continued recording and performing gospel and R&B music throughout her career, maintaining a devoted following in the southern U.S. The song's success came with a price. Moore reportedly battled severe depression following her brief mainstream fame, struggling with the pressure to repeat her success while dealing with a music industry that had little patience for aging female artists. Her later interviews revealed the psychological toll of being labeled a one-hit wonder, describing how the constant comparisons to Misty Blue made it impossible for audiences to appreciate her other work, ultimately leading to her retreat from major label recording. These 10 songs prove that 1976 was a battlefield where careers were made and destroyed, often by forces completely beyond the artist's control. If these stories surprised you, imagine what we'll uncover next time. Subscribe now and share this video with someone who needs to know the truth about the music they grew up loving. The rabbit hole goes much deeper than you think.